In this video, I am going to show you a very, very informative and helpful way to put more money back into your pocket. If you got a steam boiler, you're not going to want to miss it. Make sure you thumbs up, subscribe, sharing is caring. Thoughts and feedback down in the comment section down below. Let's get going. Wow, look at that nice new sexy uniform. Isn't it nice? Ladies, Peter's single. Donde es Latinas chicas? Or donde es Tiffany from the bar last night? The bar last night at the main event in Farmingdale on Route 110, where we went to the Porsche Club America, Metro New York, Wednesday night grill, Wednesday night wing night. And I just uploaded the video to the Mikey Pipes uncensored channel, right? Link in the description box above. I talk about an illegally parked car that I blasted with an "your car is illegally parked" sticker on the driver's side window, and getting my first speeding ticket in the Porsche 911 Turbo S. So it's on the Mikey Pipes uncensored channel, which looks like this. Where is it? Looks like that. See? We're making the trades great again. Okay, Peter. Type of boiler. Excellent. Okay. Parts identification. What is this called?
That is our water heater.
Yes? You don't remember the model number? I don't expect you to memorize it, though.
It starts with a D or an E?
WFE 24.
I'm good.
All right. Made by McDonald Miller. Behind there is...
automatic venting.
Exactly. Okay. Right here. Let's go. Let me squeeze my little fat tuchus here. What is this thing called?
Pressure control.
Correct. And is it set properly? Let me shine some light on there for you.
Around, I think so.
Yep, around 2 psi. Differential of it looks like around 1. That's okay. What's this loopy looking pipe below it?
Pigtail.
Exactly. What is that box called right there sticking out?
Transformer.
Excellent. What is this thing called?
The water cutoff.
And the round thing?
Pressure gauge.
Excellent. Is it accurate?
Seems about.
Seems about. What is it reading?
It's reading around 7.
7 psi. So if that's the case, where's the relief valve? It's right there. I want you to pop that relief valve for me. Pull it up. Nothing's coming out of it, right? So that if that is nothing's coming out of there, when we know that the pressure gauge is incorrect. What is this little sight glass thing called? We also have some cocky there, so that should be rectified. Okay, let's squeeze out of here. Let's take off the front cover. You can do it. You may have to pull out the bottom while you're pushing up. Pull out. Should come out. There you go. Push that off to the side. Okay. And let's quickly do a little identification here. This is an SIN7, 210,000 BTUs, gross. The 7 in the number means that there are 7 cast iron sections within this boiler. And they're all pushed together with these neoprene gaskets and a couple threaded rods holding the front and the back together. And they rest on top of this doodad called the combustion box or a combustion chamber. These little tubes are called burner tubes, right? This is called,
Gas valve.
And is it standing pile or electronic ignition?
Sorry. Electric ignition.
You don't have to look at that to tell. You can tell just by seeing there's only one tube coming out of it,
right. No,
which is the pilot tube. There's no thermocouple, correct. What is that black box called?
That is our control.
Electronic ignition module, correct. And what is that thing called right there?
That is our rollout switch.
Excellent. And the one behind the boiler at the draft diverter? Excellent. So we're here to do a tune-up on this boiler. This boiler is manufacture date of April 2013. One of the first things that I do when I check out a steam boiler is I'm going to make sure that the thermostat relay, which is this doodad right there, we're going to make sure that it's secure, and not by just pushing it in like that. We're also going to take a zip tie, right, and wrap it around the actual relay itself, because I have many service calls where the relay becomes disengaged. Actually, the harness becomes disengaged from the relay, and it prevents boiler operation. So a very simple thing. And newer boilers in the steam trim box, US boiler, Burnham, actually gives you that nice long zip tie that you put behind there. And I secure it behind there before I tighten up the 2 screws. It's good practice. Save yourself a recall, or not a recall, a service call. And of course, it's going to come on Christmas or Thanksgiving or New Year's or on your birthday, or while you're getting laid. So we're securing that just like that. Perfect. You'll zip tie that together. Excellent. Make it nice and very snug. Perfect. Good? Yep. Excellent. Okay, since we're here for a tune-up or maintenance, there's a couple things we're going to do during this service call. We're going to take all the burners out. We're going to make sure they're clean. We're going to lubricate them. I like to use some lubricating oil like WD-40 or Croil, right? Something petroleum-based. It just gives it a nice rust prohibitor on it. We have a little brush to clean the outlets on the burners. But while we're doing that, I'm also going to drain the boiler, and we're going to make sure the low water cutoff light, which is right there on this model, illuminates and turns off the boiler. All right. All of those burner tubes are removed and cleaned and lubricated with the Croil. Peter's just vacuuming out the combustion chamber. She looks really, really nice. Our sight glass. We're going to drain this. Homeowner said they don't recall last time they've done that. He has all those burners out, so I'm not going to turn the power on. So we're going to drain the boiler. I'm going to drain it completely. And in case you're wondering how much water is in there, we have that's a 7. We have around, that says 6.2. We're going to have about 9.5 gallons of water in this boiler, because this is not the manual. This is for the New Yorker. That's the wrong manual. Is it in here? It's not in there either. They did a switcheroo. I wanted to tell you how many gallons are in here, but it's roughly around 9 gallons for a 7-section boiler. So we'll do probably almost 2 buckets. All right, now that Peter has all of the burner tubes back in, I've reapplied power to the system, and we're almost done draining right there. I'm just getting a little more light right there so you guys can see. Almost done draining. This is bucket number 2. We are going to replace the sight glass nuts and washers on the bottom. We're going to use our wire brush and try to clean up all the corrosion and oxidization on the actual lower valve. Upper valve looks brand new, looks perfect. Taking a look at my pressure gauge, you can see we do have some corrosion on those threads right there. It's hard to see, but right there, you see the Teflon tape, but we're also going to replace that pressure gauge because it is not accurate. You see it's reading around 7 PSI, and that's no bueno. So we're also going to change that. A lot of rust on that return pipe off the Harper loop, but so far so good. I see they have a valve there and a drain, so that's perfect to be able to flush out the wet return. The noise you're hearing right now is the automatic feeder. This is the McDonnell Miller Unimatch WFE24, automatically feeding the boiler. Our water is kind of clean there now, which is a good thing. Yeah, she's clean. And it looks like chocolate milk. Kids, don't drink that. I know it's full of iron. It's good for your bones, but it's no bueno. It may be tempting, but it's hot chocolate milk. And it doesn't come from a cow. It came from this Burnham steam boiler. All right, so I'm going to remove the sight glass. I'm loosening the lower brass nut and then the upper. Okay. The glass is not damaged, or does not appear to be damaged right now, so we should be okay with the glass, but I want to just take the nuts off in one piece. This one is pretty shot. Let's see how that looks. Let's just run some water through it. Okay. And she's still good there. Look at that, very nice. But we are going to change the nut. And, ow! Fuck, I got a splinter in my ass. Ah, you motherfucker. God damn it. Peter, I'm not bullshitting. This thing is a piece of wood that was against the air. When I got up off the back here, got me right in the ass. And this thing was deep, by the way. She was deep. It got me. I'm going to charge him splinter fee. All right, I have the water running. The manual fill. All right. Get all that cocky out of this valve head without trying to make a mess. So there it goes. Come on. Get out. There we go. Get all that cocky out of there. I'm going to take one of the rods. I like using the rods. Shoving it in through there. The wrong side? No, the right side. It should go in. Oh, yeah. See? Slide her in there. Like a sword. Okay? And we're freely going there. Let me turn off the manual bypass that I had on before. Good. She's still spitting out of there. We'll take the valve body, shove it back in there. Let's get that right back there. It's good that I have a sump pump right there. We're kind of good with that. Let's get that snug. Close the valve like that. Now she's clean. Let's open up the valve to drain and drain the rest of the water out of there. My wet return is just about done. Looks nice and clean. Let's close that as well. I'm not flushing the wet return today. I'm just draining it from the low point. All right, so for sight glass, she's pretty clean. We're just gonna rinse this off in the sink a little bit. I'm gonna change the nuts, the washers, and the rings. I get these from Sid Harvey's or any other HVAC supply house will sell them. You can also probably even get them on supplyhouse.com, but it's a good idea to change that when you play around with the sight glass, because, you know, listen, it gets old, it gets dried out. Not good, you know? And one of the things that I'm going to do differently, and it's very hard to tell in the picture, and I still can't explain it, but the side that's always in steam water happens to always be thinner. The glass is always a little bit thinner, right, than the side that's not sitting glass. So there's no reason to change this glass. Like, so if this is worn down where there's nothing really left of it, and it was cracked, things like that, obviously I'm gonna cut a new piece of sight glass, but I'm just gonna put the side that was up in the air at the bottom now and put this at the top. Just my, you know, food for thought. All right, before I put the new sight glass in, I took the liberty of removing the 30 PSI steam boiler pressure gauge. She's got a lot of stuff going on in there and made in China. See that? Chinesium. She's stuck on stupid. But I'm going to install, and a new one made in China too. Yes, I get it. I know. Well, if American manufacturing was in America, I wouldn't have to be installing Chinesium stuff instead, right? Right? All these things are made in China. But if manufacturing jobs were in the United States, yes, the items will cost more. But guess what? We'll have more money to spend because more money's in our country. Ain't that right, Peter? That's right. Facts. Pipes for President 2024. All right, so our new pressure gauge is in place. Putting in the new sight glass. And I put the pressure gauge in first because, room to get the wrench in there, right? Sight glass is in the way. It's hard to get the wrench in there to take off that pressure gauge. So I'm just gonna make it hand snug first, top and bottom. And then I'm gonna take my little baby channel locks and tighten them up a little bit extra. Give a little extra on it. You don't gotta go crazy on it, right? But you gotta give a little bit extra. Just a little bit extra. Okay. Let's put our gauge back in. Our valve. Make sure that's open, top and bottom. You need an upper valve. Otherwise, you won't get a good sense of water temperature. Right? Because it's airbound there. So you need upper and lower valves open. There's our water level right there. Looks pretty good. All right, next I'm gonna remove the wiring for the pressure troll. Okay, just like that. We're gonna loosen up the front cover, take off our 2 screws, remove the pressure troll, and then check the pigtail, make sure she's clean. Okay. And now we'll remove the pigtail. Oh, I use my super strong hands. Manhandle the pigtail. All right, now let's see if she's clogged or not. Let's see what the... oh, she looks clean in there too. Let's see. She's clean. Okay. Now I'm just gonna use my wire brush and clean off the old Teflon tape before I reapply new Teflon tape on here, because that's the right thing to do. All right, my pigtail is nice and clean of all the foreign thread sealant on it. I like to wrap it around 6 times. I'm using Blue Monster PTFE tape. Okay, that's like that. And we're gonna put this back on the 3/4 by 1/4 inch reducing bushing. Then we're gonna reattach our pressure troll and then do a combustion and draft analysis after we test to make sure the pressure troll is functional. Okay, so pressure troll wiring, control wiring is reconnected. Front cover is back into place. My pressure is where it should be, a little under 2, and I like to do a 0.5 on the differential. It was at 1. I'm not reinventing the wheel here. It's been like that forever, but now that's like the way it should be. Real quickly, as far as priming the pigtail, which is basically like a trap, and the purpose of the pigtail is to protect the pressure troll from the latent heat from the boiler. Now, there is some comment in my steam boiler videos that Mikey Pipes, now some, not all, but a couple. And if I have 20,000 people watching the video, I have like 2 people commenting that Mikey Pipes, you should be priming the pigtail with some water. Show me what? Show me. I learned from the dead men, right? Like Dan Holohan. He's not a dead man, thank God. He's a great guy. But I have several of his books, including The Lost Art of Steam Heating. I've got Steam Heat and a few other books like that. He's a very, very, very smart and educated guy. I gotta give him a lot of respect. But I have not seen any reference to priming the pigtail with water when it's being reinstalled or it's being installed. So if I'm wrong, someone please comment down below that, hey, Mikey Pipes, you're wrong. This is what page it's on in this book. And if it's Dan Holohan or another respected individual like Eugene Silverstein, very nice guy as well, I'm all for it, because we need to learn something new every day. And the only way we're going to make the trades great again is by performing professional, exceptional work every single time, over and over and over again. All right. This boiler's finished and tuned up. We're going to do this boiler right now. That little click you heard, that's the thermostat relay. Getting a signal from the thermostat and powering the 24-volt circuit, which includes the automatic vent damper, which is open. Our low water cutoff is still in the low water condition right now. And our feed indicator on our automatic feeder, the Unimatch WFE24, is getting a signal to power because our water level is a little low. It's a little low. Okay, we're going to watch this feed, make sure she doesn't overfill, and then we're going to do combustion and draft analysis. Automatic feeder is feeding. Checking our water level. Just about halfway. Our low water cutoff light, low water indicator is not illuminated. Just want to see when that shuts off. I like to see halfway, 5/8 full. More is not better. Right there at halfway. Very good. The damper is now doing a rotation to the open position. And then we're going to have ignition. Stay tuned. There's that thermostat relay. And what just kicked on is our fan in a can. We'll talk about that next. Main valve opening. Slowly opening since it's a step valve. Nice, good, solid blue flames. Very pleased. And here comes main ignition. Houston, we have ignition. Okay. one of the things that opens here or turned on is this doodad. This is by Field Controls. This is called Fan in a Can. This brings in fresh makeup air. It looks like it's coming from all the way down there. All the way down there from outside. In 4-inch, single wall, smoke pipe, flue pipe. We have a control, a pressure switch. It gets wired to the 2 boilers. Well, I think it's the 2, yep. Is it 2? Let's see. Yep, it gets wired to both boilers. And it brings fresh makeup air. It looks like it's been replaced once before already. Oh man, poor guy. Yeah. Horrible and inhumane way, by the way. The glue traps, Peter? Yeah, horrible, inhumane way. I'm, you know, this guy, you know, it's stuck. He's suffocated, you know, he's starved to death.
Yeah, I'd rather mesh traps.
Yeah, it's just horrible. Anyway. Now Peter is going to take the Testo 320 and shove it into the rear of the boiler, above the draft diverter, and inside the top of the boiler. Not there, but inside the top of the boiler, we get the undiluted air there. Okay, just about done here. Did a tune-up on this boiler, which this video did not cover at all in its entirety. We had an issue with we documented an issue with the DHT indirect. We have a leak on the 1-inch relief valve right there, and that's because of that full expansion tank. Probably was never pre-charged right, but she's full and she's a leaker. We'll order that. I gave them the price, you know, hundreds of dollars. We'll see what they want to do with that. You know, I didn't scare the fear of living God into them, but when that thing opens up, we're going to have to do something with this floor. Okay, boiler is running. Our steam boiler site class, water level is right where I like it to be. And most importantly, it's clean. It's clean. And two main reasons to drain your boiler during the heating season if you have a steam system. And number one is you want to ensure the operation of the low water cutoff. It senses a low water condition, and it senses that where it's going to turn the boiler off. Number two, and this may affect your pocket a lot more than a dead low water cutoff, over time maybe, and that's clean water will boil at 212 degrees. It requires a lot of BTUs, a lot of flame, a lot of heat, a lot of money to do that. Dirty water is not going to boil at 212 degrees. It's going to boil at a temperature much higher, which means it's going to cost you a lot more money to heat. So listen to Mikey Pipes, St. Mike. Drain your boiler once a month. Keep it clean. Your pocket will thank me later.